Sine Aricia, Ismene. Aricia Hippolytus request to see me here. Hippolytus desire to bid farewell. Is true, Ismene? Are you not deceived? Ismene, this is the first result of Theseus' death. Prepare yourself to see from every side. Hearts turn towards you that were kept away by Theseus. Mistress of her lot at last, Aricia soon shall find all Greece fall low, to do her homage. Aricia, 'tis not then, Ismene, an idle tale? Am I no more a slave? Have I no enemies? Ismene, the gods oppose your peace no longer, and the soul of Theseus is with your brothers. Aricia, does the voice of fame tell how he died? Ismene, rumors incredible are spread. Some say that, seizing a new bride, the faithless husband by the waves was swallowed. Others affirm, and this report prevails, that with Pirithous to the world below he went, and saw the shores of dark Cocytus, showing himself alive to the pale ghosts, but that he could not leave those gloomy realms, which whoso enters there abides forever. Aricia, shall I believe that ere his destined hour a mortal may descend into the gulf of Hades? What attraction could o'ercome its terrors? Ismene, he is dead, and you alone doubt it. The men of Athens mourn his loss. Treason already hails Hippolytus as king. And Phaedra, fearing for her son, asks counsel of the friends who share her trouble, here in this palace. Aricia, will Hippolytus, think you, prove kinder than his sire, make light my chains, and pity my misfortunes? Ismene, yes, I think so, madam. Aricia, ah, you know him not, or you would never deem so hard a heart can pity feel, or me alone, except from the contempt in which he holds our sex. Has he not long avoided every spot where we resort? Ismene, I know what tales are told of proud Hippolytus, but I have seen him near you, and have watched with curious eye how one esteemed so cold would bear himself. Little did his behavior correspond with what I looked for. In his face confusion appeared at your first glance. He could not turn his languid eyes away, but gazed on you. Love is a word that may offend his pride, but what the tongue disowns, looks can betray. Aricia, how eagerly my heart hears what you say, though it may be delusion, dear Ismene. Did it seem possible to you, who know me, that I, sad sport of a relentless fate, fed upon bitter tears by night and day, could ever taste the maddening draught of love? The last frail offspring of a royal race, children of earth, I only have survived war's fury. Cut off in the flower of youth, mown by the sword, 6 brothers have I lost, the hope of an illustrious house, whose blood earth drank with sorrow, near akin to his whom she herself produced. Since then, you know how through all Greece no heart has been allowed to sigh for me, lest by a sister's flame the brother's ashes be perchance rekindled. You know, besides, with what disdain I viewed my conqueror's suspicions and precautions, and how, opposed as I have ever been to love, I often thanked the king's injustice which happily confirmed my inclination. But then I never had beheld his son. Not that, attracted merely by the eye, I love him for his beauty and his grace, endowments which he owes to nature's bounty, charms which he seems to know not or to scorn. I love and prize in him riches more rare, the virtues of his sire, without his faults. I love, as I must own, that generous pride which ne'er has stooped beneath the amorous yoke. Phaedra reaps little glory from a lover so lavish of his sighs. I am too proud to share devotion with 1,000 others, or enter where the door is always open. But to make one who ne'er has stooped before bend his proud neck, to pierce a heart of stone, to bind a captive whom his chains astonish, who vainly gains to pleasing yoke rebels, that piques my ardor, and I long for that. 'Twas easier to disarm the god of strength than this Hippolytus, for Hercules yielded so often to the eyes of beauty, as to make triumph cheap. But, dear Ismene, I take too little heed of opposition beyond my power to quell, and you may hear me, humbled by sore defeat, upbraid the pride I now admire. What? Can he love? And I have had the happiness to bend. Ismene, he comes yourself shall hear him. Scene 2. Hippolytus, Aricia, Ismene. Hippolytus, lady, ere I go, my duty bids me tell you of your change of fortune. My worst fears are realized, my sire is dead. Yes, his protracted absence was caused as I foreboded. Death alone, ending his toils, could keep him from the world concealed so long. The gods at last have doomed Alcides' friend, companion, and successor. I think your hatred, tender to his virtues, can hear such terms of praise without resentment, knowing them due. One hope have I that soothes my sorrow, I can free you from restraint. Lo, I revoke the laws whose rigor moved my pity, you are at your own disposal, both heart and hand, here, in my heritage, in treason, where my grandsire Pythius reigned of yore and I am now acknowledged king, I leave you free, free as myself, and more. Aricia, your kindness is too great, 'tis overwhelming. Such generosity, that pays disgrace with honor, lends more force than you can think to those harsh laws from which you would release me. Hippolytus, Athens, uncertain how to fill the throne of Theseus, speaks of you, anon of me, and then of Phaedra's son. Aricia, of me, my lord? Hippolytus, I know myself excluded by strict law. Greece turns to my reproach a foreign mother. But if my brother were my only rival, my rights prevail o'er his clearly enough to make me careless of the law's caprice. My forwardness is checked by juster claims, to you I yield my place, or, rather, own that it is yours by right, and yours the scepter, as handed down from Earth's great son, Erechtheus. Adoption placed it in the hands of Aegeus, Athens, by him protected and increased, welcomed a king so generous as my sire, and left your hapless brothers in oblivion. Now she invites you back within her walls, protracted strife has cost her groans enough, her fields are glutted with your kinsman's blood, fattening the furrows out of which it sprung at first. I rule this treason, while the son of Phaedra has in Crete a rich domain. Athens is yours. I will do all I can to join for you the votes divided now between us. Aricia, stunned at all I hear, my lord, I almost fear a dream deceives me. Am I indeed awake? Can I believe such generosity? What god has put it into your heart? Well is the fame deserved that you enjoy. That fame falls short of truth. Would you for me prove traitor to yourself? Was it not boon enough never to hate me, so long to have abstained from harboring the enmity? Hippolytus, to hate you? I, to hate you? However darkly my fierce pride was painted, do you suppose a monster gave me birth? What savage temper, what envenomed hatred would not be mollified at sight of you? Could I resist the soul-bewitching charm? Aricia, why, what is this, sir? Hippolytus, I have said too much not to say more. Prudence in vain resists the violence of passion. I have broken silence at last, and I must tell you now the secret that my heart can hold no longer. You see before you an unhappy instance of hasty pride, a prince who claims compassion, who, so long the enemy of love, mocked at his fetters and despised his captives, who, pitying poor mortals that were shipwrecked, in seeming safety viewed the storms from land, now find myself to the same fate exposed, tossed to and fro upon a sea of troubles. My boldness has been vanquished in a moment, and humbled is the pride wherein I boasted. For nearly 6 months past, ashamed, despairing, bearing where'er I go the shaft that rends my heart, I struggle vainly to be free from you and from myself. I shun you, present, absent, I find you near, I see your form in the dark forest depths, the shades of night, nor less broad daylight, bring back to my view the charms that I avoid, all things conspire to make Hippolytus your slave. For fruit of all my bootless sighs, I fail to find my former self. My bowing javelins please me no more, my chariot is forgotten, with all the sea gods' lessons, and the woods echo my groans instead of joyous shouts urging my fiery steeds. Hearing this tale of passion so uncouth, you blush perchance at your own handiwork. With what wild words I offer you my heart, strange captive held by silken jests. But dearer in your eyes should be the offering, that this language comes strange to my lips, reject not vows expressed so ill, which but for you had ne'er been formed.